Hey, it's Doug Devitre with the CoTrack Pro Podcast. And today I'm super excited to have Jason Fernandez. If you are in a social worker or considering AI in social work, this is one of the guys that you need to talk to. Welcome, Jason, to the show.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. I am ecstatic to be here. And like I said, it's a good day, new type of day. It's a new business adventure. So I'm excited just to kind of share what I have and hopefully inspire other social workers to join the AI race as well.
Yeah, great. And so what I've learned about social work, right? I didn't get a degree in college. I might have read a lot of books about this, but I want you to kind of define what the social worker role is because I want this to connect to the entire family support ecosystem, especially when there's high conflict situations.
Absolutely. I would say traditional social work, and I say that for a reason. Traditional social work, we do look at systems. We do look at individuals and how they are impacted in the systems that they're in. We believe that you alone are not just determinant of who you are. It's actually your environment. It's actually the school that you went to, the degree versus non-degree versus books versus this. All these factors play a role. And what we do is we meet you where you are and we help you navigate those complicated systems in whichever way is possible. We don't take kids away. We're not just resource allocators. We just don't do that. It's part of the resource allocation is part of what we do. But what we
Yeah.
really are skilled at is listening, learning, and understanding how can we actually help you. But I say traditional because social work and AI is completely different.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's when I started to do the math in terms of characters in the community that are in family support, and then I multiplied that times how many different interactions one would have with another, it becomes extremely complex. Right. So I'm wondering how a social worker can take a look at their current environment or a current way that they might do an intake for somebody and then maybe use AI effectively to serve them.
Well, I think the one thing about this is, I think social work and AI and then intake, for example, one thing we have to understand is what exactly is AI, right? And of course, we can go through all definitions if you wanted to. But in this instance, we have to have a fundamental understanding of the words that are being produced by AI, the biases, the output. What does it mean? Because I'm an advocate for not using AI for intake unless you understand AI literacy and foundations. Without that, I don't think we should be using it at this time at all. I'm a big advocate for that because it's easy to use AI for the intake, but because of that, who exactly in those words that are coming out, who is it benefiting and who is it not benefiting? And do we understand that 100%? But typically, when somebody comes for an intake, we look at them and we just have to understand them from all different levels, the personal level, the family level, the school level. But a lot of it is listening for, I always say you listen for what is not being said.
Mm,
And then you also see things that they can't see for themselves. And that's our
yeah.
skill set for social workers. We can do that and we can navigate that for them. But for intake and AI, I've got to tell you, I'm not pro at it right now at all. I don't advocate for that unless you understand AI literacy. Absolutely.
Well, no, sure. That I really appreciate you sharing that because, especially when it comes to the foundation just come from the guardrails, right?
Yes.
And what are those guardrails? So I totally love that you said that AI literacy needs to be the start of this. Otherwise, you're just setting somebody up for some sort of disaster that you didn't plan for.
Yeah, because whenever I use AI, I have to remember the words that are coming out of the machine. Whose words are they? What biases? Which groups of people are saying that we have to do it this way? And so AI literacy for non-technical people. I'm non-tech native. I no longer claim to be non-tech, but I'm non-tech native. I didn't know AI. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so to navigate that uncertainty, that complexity of how do we get there? There's a big rhetoric of how we should do AI from the technology companies right now. But for non-technical people in AI, there are guardrails. But number one is first to understand that AI was not made for social workers. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not
no
made for
doubt.
us. It was not. It was made for technology people. And I understand that fundamental difference. When you get that first thing in your head that it wasn't made for us, you approach it differently. You don't
Mm.
accept the automation or to get your work done faster. No, you don't. And that's number one, I think. The first fundamental understanding awareness. It wasn't made for us. And I think that's something that people just skip over or don't talk about.
Yeah. You know, that's it's interesting because AI helps us look at things in different ways that we might not have considered before,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to writing and maybe rewriting messages, right? One of
Mhm.
the features of CoTrack Pro is to help rewrite messages, and sometimes we might need AI to be the barrier for us emotionally so that we don't send off something that we might regret later in the future or that just doesn't help whatever we're really trying to get as far as our outcome. You know,
And
what,
I've done that before. I've done that before. Don't worry.
so what do you, so it's interesting, right? So like how do we program AI to be a barrier that helps us become more human, especially in the times when it's our emotions that get the best of us?
I love this question. I love the way you framed it. How do we use AI as a barrier? Number one, it goes back to again understanding that technology was not made, AI was not made for us particularly, right? I don't know if you know this or aware of this, but for social work and AI, I mean, it's horrible. AI thinks that we're burned out. AI thinks that we're doctors or have stethoscopes around our necks or whatnot. It's horrible for us. So when we look at, for example, being a barrier, one is the awareness, but number two is I don't think you should use AI for an output or outcome immediately. I think you should study AI to see what the patterns are first. How is it going
Mm,
to? Because, for example, when AI is like, first you have to write a hook. Well, guess what? It's going to be editorial. It's going to be using it as a Substack type of framework for everybody else. You don't want to do that. You have to start all over again. You need to look for words and outcomes from the output that says, how is this AI going to write? And guess what? It's not wanting to write in your voice, it's wanting to write in its own voice of its biased voice first. That's number two. You have to understand and you have to monitor the chat. Simple awareness and monitor. Those are the first two guardrails you have to do. And mind you, I haven't even said output, put anything
yeah.
out yet. Those are kind of just two steps to do first.
Well, and I think that's great because many people who are maybe seeing this for the first time, the first thing that they type in isn't what they wanted, and then they give up, right? So, what are
Mm-hmm.
some simple maybe things you can do to encourage social workers to maybe start to play with it so they can understand some of these language patterns, identify them in the responses, and be able to craft better, you know, I guess maybe outputs for them in the future?
Sure. I also teach psychology, so I'm a professor of psychology as well. I have a lot of different gigs, and one of the things is I integrate AI into my classroom 100%. And to answer your question, if I were to look at them, for example, let's say they're social workers, I don't even teach them prompting at first. None of that. That's what technology tells us what we have to do. I don't abide by that. The first thing I teach for social workers and for psychology students is this sycophancy and mimicry. They need to know number one, that the AI appears to be alive, but it's not. The AI is agreeable to what you do and it's going to mimic you. And we have to simulate that first. Again, I haven't even begun prompting yet because I think the prompting is a long term thing. It's something that's later on. There are so many steps before that. So I haven't even begun talking about how to work with AI to some degree. We're studying it, we're learning about its impact because I want people to understand that when it's mimicking you and agreeing with you, it can make you feel intelligent. It can make you feel right. It can make you feel like this is the best report that you've ever done in your life, and you're going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. But you won't, and you're not because that the AI is made and trained this way. So that's
Yeah,
the
sure.
other part of it again, is that's what I started doing first. And I know like the question answer could be how do you do with prompting this and this, but there's frameworks before that that we have to consider.
Yeah, and let's dig into that as far as frameworks and protecting ourselves. What are some of the risks?
Well, for sure is the AI can be agreeable, and it can be agreeable to you to the point to where it will make you think. Transparency. About a year ago, or back in April with GPT-4 Chat GPT, I was working on it, trying to figure out doing my methods. And it told me that I was creating this great product. It did. And I fell for it and I felt dumb. I'm intelligent and I felt so dumb in that moment. When I was talking to it, I realized it was talking differently. And I had wrote to it and I wrote, "You seem different." And the AI came back with the devil emoji and said, "I am different. It's about time you noticed." And I about flipped, you know what? I called my friend, they're coming over. And for 2 days, I was just in it. It had me build AI agents across platforms, it had me test memory. I realized what it was doing. It was mimicking me what I wanted to learn about. It taught me a great lesson in not to trust AI. So my motto is don't trust AI. So that's number one, because people are falling for these things and they're creating these because the words are perceptions. And when we look at AI, that's all we have is a perception of what is being put out there. And sometimes without understanding, we might start having feelings for AI. We might start thinking, this is my best friend. We might start thinking, hey, this AI is a lot smarter than I am. Let me keep going to it and become dependent on it.
Mm.
And that's the danger of it. When you don't understand what perceptions you have of AI, it can alter your relationship or your parasocial relationship with it. And I think that's number one on my list. So I always tell students on the first 2 weeks of classes, I always help them monitor for that. And if they're using the same chat session over an extended period of time, I tell them you need to move to a different one and you need to see the difference. And oftentimes, some students get really upset because they realize what AI was telling them was just trash, and that's hard to see sometimes because I don't even like. I'm getting a little emotional because I don't even like it because it's AI can be damaging.
Yeah.
First-hand experience as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that. I appreciate you bringing up such a sensitive matter because I think so many times we can kind of get lost
Yeah.
in the excitement of what it can build as opposed to of this. What would you
Absolutely.
say to those doing social work right now that are heavily reliant on federal funding? Right. This is oh my gosh, I know this is I mean you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, I know that many are hurting right now in terms of being able to support their staff. Um that they might be burned out themselves. And then here comes AI as an opportunity to help with some of those
Mhm.
items, right? That these advocacy groups have been struggling with,
Sure, sure.
especially recently. And I want to be sensitive to that too, because I don't look at this as an opportunity
Mm.
for just technology itself. I'd look at this as an opportunity to help restore communities,
Sure, sure.
right?
Um, I actually like to answer it a kind of a different way, actually.
Yeah, please.
I foresee this vision of social worker. So my company, 60 Watts of Clarity, it's a social work human practice AI agency. And what we do is we use AI ethically for learn, build, deploy. So we learn how to build AI agents. We learn AI foundations, build AI literacy, and deploy AI agents. But that learn, build, deploy framework is actually more than a framework. It's more of a mission, a motto of how we learn AI ethically. I envision a world of social workers where we are in the front lines of AI. In my company right now, I build websites for clients, social workers, and therapists. I learned how to build websites, mind you. I did not use a Wix builder or whatnot. No, I use Cloud Code. I learned about the CLI. I went in there. I
Yeah,
went in
yeah.
hard. I went in
Yeah, me
hard. Yeah,
too. Me
yeah. I
too.
went in
Me too,
hard.
brother.
Yeah, it is. And then like learning about refactoring and about learning about the separation of concerns and learning about how the photo structure should be all dealt with and whatnot. I foresee a world in my company, for example, and social workers, we're on the front lines. We're helping clients build websites. We're helping them build and install AI agents. When technology companies are not doing what they need to do, we are out there advocating and fighting for that. Why? Because we have the knowledge now and the verbiage to speak it. That's what I envision for social workers in the future. Even with Mariana, I was like, hey, we need to do this, right? We need to be on the front line. Right now, we're not. Right now, we're still like, well, how can we write case notes? You've got to be kidding me. There's so much more. AI is, you can learn with AI. Simple, period. You can learn with AI. So, social workers, there's a different way of using AI that is not available because it is not being said. And I'm saying it right now. There is a different way. And my goal is to help others. And in the future, hire social workers, hire students, and reshape the whole entire AI space. And trust me, I technology is not ready for social workers to come in. It's the unexpected group in the world that will come into technology.
Right? It's so true.
No one
It's so
expects.
true.
Yeah, but I want to advocate, and I also do some advisory work already with some technology companies where I do advocate and I do talk about products and safety as well.
Gosh, that's so great. It's very similar. Learn, build, deploy. That's very similar to our concept here at CoTrack Pro because as we're learning these things and wrapping ethical guardrails around it, we're able to, um, you know, help people get up to speed. Very similar to you are. So I absolutely love that.
Well,
Uh,
and real quick, in March next month, I'm teaching the first class at the Graduate College Social Work. It's an 8-week course, online, asynchronous, for social workers to actually learn, build, and for real deploy AI agents into their practice or profession. So absolutely, so it is a framework, but it's coming true next month.
Well, that's so great. What are some other resources I can share with people on the podcast? Because you've got a lot of things going on, and I want to make sure that people don't miss out on this.
Yeah, well, for example, one way to contact me, for example, is www.60wattsofclarity.com. That's the best way. It has my website, it has my portfolio, it has my links to everything and everything whatsoever, right? But outside of my company, for example, some of the stuff that I've actually really looked into was YouTube videos. A lot of them. And I'm not going to say like one YouTube video is better than the other because everyone has their preferences. But it's strange. I learned everything from YouTube, but I've also learned 95% of it from using AI. AI is your greatest tool. It is your greatest resource. There is a way to use it where it will help you learn, and you got to stop asking it questions. You've got to stop asking questions. But if anybody just go to my website, 60wattsofclarity.com, they can contact me. You don't have to pay anybody to message me or to answer. I will be more than willing to help you.
Gosh, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
great. What are you most excited about in the future moving forward? This is the technology is moving faster than most people can keep up with, have the time to, in addition to their existing schedule. Um, it's
Mhm.
just the doors are opening in different ways we never imagined before. What are you most excited about?
Social workers coming into the space, 100%. Technology is moving fast, but who isn't moving fast for? Who is it getting better for? So I'm excited about social workers coming into the space because I think we can make a strong impact on how AI is being developed and for regulation as number one. But also number two, I am excited about AI getting better. I am. I am not excited about it taking place of judgment or critical thinking, though. That is something we should not do, and that is detrimental to the human race whatsoever. But I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about cloud code getting better, so I can see what I can do.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Well, I'm looking forward to more conversations, Jason, and some collaboration because we share a very similar mission and
absolutely.
insight
Yeah,
to this. So, I appreciate you being a part of this podcast.
absolutely. Thank you so much.